Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet, instead promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the
Shocking turn of events has gripped Torrance Township and Dalton as Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who also serves as township supervisor and has notoriously dubbed herself the super mayor, was arrested by federal agents earlier today. This dramatic development follows years of controversy, including accusations of corruption, reckless leadership, and public stunts that have divided the community and drawn widespread attention for months. Rumors of an FBI investigation into Henyard had swirled, fueled by allegations of misconduct, misuse of power, and questionable decisions. While many speculated about potential legal issues, few anticipated that the situation would escalate so suddenly. Henyard's arrest marks the culmination of years of increasing scrutiny, mounting evidence, and growing public concern over her actions. As a leader, the news has left Dalton and Torrance Township in disbelief, shaking a community already divided by her bold and often contentious leadership style. Critics, who have long decried her action as self-serving and reckless, are now feeling vindicated, viewing the arrest as confirmation of their claims. In contrast, Henyard loyal supporters are scrambling to make sense of the situation, defending her as a misunderstood and ambitious leader who has been unfairly targeted by political adversaries. Henyard's tenure has been marked by controversies, including accusations of excessive spending on personal luxuries and the appointment of an unqualified police chief. Despite facing repeated criticism, she maintained a defiant public image, often dismissing her critics as politically motivated, while positioning herself as a trailblazer who is unfairly opposed. The arrest now shifts the narrative from political drama to legal reckoning, casting her leadership in a new troubling light. The community is left reeling, grappling with mixed emotions, shock, anger, sadness, and uncertainty over the implications of this dramatic turn of events. For many of Henyard's detractors, this moment is seen as justice served. For her supporters, it is a politically charged attack on a leader who refused to adhere to traditional rules. Another whirlwind was born afresh. She had so many issues to deal with, and a certain leader. The arrest has thrust both Dalton and Torrance Township into a leadership crisis, leaving residents wondering what will happen next, with the fate of their controversial leader uncertain. The future of both communities hangs in the balance. Henyard's once defiant image as the super mayor now faces a significant redefinition, with her legacy potentially tainted by legal consequences.
Sixth embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement.
To understand the dramatic downfall of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, we must rewind and examine the chain of events that led to her arrest for the moment she took office. Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dalton and Torrance Township supervisor was marked by controversy. Her leadership, often described as audacious and unapologetic, quickly gained notoriety with allegations of corruption, misuse of taxpayer funds, and abuse of power emerging as recurring themes. Reports of extravagant spending ranging from luxury travel and lavish events to questionable personal expenses sparked outrage among residents who accused her of putting her own interests above public service. Her decisions, such as appointing unqualified individuals to key positions, further eroded public trust and amplified calls for accountability. Henyard maintained a defiant stance, dismissing criticism as politically motivated and positioning herself as a trailblazer unfairly targeted by her opponents. However, the allegations continued to grow louder, leading to an FBI investigation that had quietly been building for months, if not years. The investigation examined a wide range of accusations, including financial misconduct, mismanagement of township resources, and possible backroom deals, raising serious doubts about Henyard's ethical standards. Public meetings became battlegrounds, with heated exchanges between Henyard and trustees, reflecting the deep divisions within the community. Supporters praised her boldness, while critics saw her actions as reckless and self-serving, fueling a political storm that consumed the ownership. Ultimately, the audacious moves that once defined her leadership became the very issues that led to her undoing. Henyard's arrest by federal agents marked the shocking climax of a saga that had gripped Dalton and Torrance Township for years. Her downfall serves as a cautionary tale of how unchecked ambition without accountability and transparency can lead to chaos and collapse for the community. This moment represents a reckoning as they reflect on the turbulent legacy of a leader whose rise and fall have left a lasting mark on the townships.
In 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of...
The arrest of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, also the Thornton Township supervisor, and self-proclaimed super mayor, unfolded early this morning at her Dalton home, marking a pivotal moment in a saga that has gripped the south suburbs. Federal agents descended on the property in a dramatic turn of events, with witnesses noting the presence of her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, who has faced controversies of his own. Woods reportedly watched as Henyard was led into custody, capping years of swirling allegations and a mounting federal investigation into her administration. While the exact charges remain, under wraps, sources suggest they include embezzlement, misuse of public funds, and obstruction of justice related to her handling of Dalton and Thornton Township's finances. To understand the gravity of Henyard's arrest, one must reflect on the long trail of controversies that have followed her since she assumed office in 2012. From the outside, her leadership was defined by a bold, larger-than-life persona. Henyard was not content with merely being the mayor or township supervisor. She branded herself the super mayor, a title she proudly displayed on banners, billboards, and social media posts. Her face became ubiquitous across Dalton and Thornton Township, appearing on promotional materials, event flyers, and even village welcome signs. While supporters viewed her as a dynamic and approachable leader, critics accused her of self-aggrandizement, using public resources to promote her image rather than serve the community. Henyard, however, dismissed these accusations with characteristic confidence, often declaring herself the people's mayor and the people's supervisor. Her charisma and public presence drew both admiration and skepticism as her tenure grew increasingly defined by controversies that extended far beyond her branding. Allegations of financial misconduct began to surface early in her term, including lavish spending on personal luxuries and questionable allocation of public funds. This fueled growing criticism and public distrust, especially as Henyard's ambitious and defiant style put her at odds with trustees and community members. Heated board meetings became a hallmark of her administration, often reflecting the deep divides within the township. The federal probe that ultimately led to her arrest had been quietly building for months, investigating potential misuse of township and Dalton funds, as well as her role in obstructing oversight and accountability efforts. Henyard's leadership, which once defined her as a bold and unflinching figure, became increasingly marred by financial controversies and a combative relationship with other officials. The investigation pointed to significant concerns about her stewardship of taxpayer money, which became a focal point for critics demanding greater transparency and accountability. One of the most shocking allegations was an astonishing $43,000 shopping spree on Amazon in a single day, reportedly charged to village accounts. This spending spree included high-end furniture and various other unexplained expenses, leaving residents and critics alike stunned. These purchases were seen as emblematic of Henyard's extravagant lifestyle fueled by public funds. This was not an isolated incident. Additional allegations of luxury travel and personal indulgences funded by taxpayers emerged over time. This growing pattern of financial mismanagement fueled widespread outrage and raised serious questions about Henyard's leadership authorities amid these controversies. One of the most contentious projects during her administration was the infamous skating rink summer club, which was said to minimize sex slaves in case of police harassment, which is a $2 million endeavor that many residents believed was built without proper approval or adequate transparency. The rink, which critics argued was more of a vanity project than a true community asset, was only open during events hosted by Henyard herself. This fueled accusations that the rink served her personal ambitions rather than the needs of the community. Critics viewed the rink as a glaring example of Henyard's alleged misuse of taxpayer money to fund projects that elevated her public persona, often prioritizing her image over the practical governance of Doton's supporter. However, defended the initiative, arguing that Henyard's intent was to improve the community by bringing amenities and recreational opportunities to residents. They maintained that her bold approach to governance was misunderstood by those who opposed her vision despite these defenses. The financial controversies and accusations of reckless spending cast a shadow over her leadership, sowing distrust among residents and drawing scrutiny from auditors and watchdog groups as more details of her spending came to light. The community's dissatisfaction grew. Board meetings became increasingly heated, with trustees and residents demanding answers and greater accountability. The allegations of unchecked spending, along with the perception that public funds were being diverted for personal or vanity projects, became central to the growing criticism of her administration, while Henyard's defenders continued to highlight her charisma and vision for community improvement. The detractors pointed to the mounting evidence of financial mismanagement as a reflection of deeper issues within her leadership. The culmination of these financial scandals, combined with defiant responses to critics, create an environment ripe for further scrutiny.